Hi, and welcome to Cooking with BFed. I'm your host, Joshua Glenn. A lot of times in my cooking classes and on here, I've talked about moderation. Today we're making something that is delicious and I love it, pizza. But have it in moderation. Today we're actually going to do our own dough and our own pizza sauce and show you how quick and how cheap it is instead of ordering that calorie-laden to-go pizza that you get from the restaurants. Alright, so in our bowl here we have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, if you didn't want to use all-purpose, you could use wheat, or you could do a mixture of the both, like 1.5 cups of all-purpose to a cup of whole wheat flour. So the great thing with this dough that makes it so easy and simple is we're not using yeast, so you don't have to worry about it rising. We're going to use something else to give it leaven. So we have a teaspoon of salt we're going to add in there, and then we have 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Add those in there. And if you wanted to, at this point, you could add a little seasoning into your dough just to give it a little bit more flavor. And we're just going to add a little bit of garlic powder in there. And then we're just going to mix this up so it's thoroughly mixed. Then we're going to take 3/4 cups of water and about 2 tablespoons roughly, and then 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, do not add this all at once. You want to add it slowly just to make sure, because you may not need all of it, just depending on your dough. Alright, so as you see, I've added most of my water, and we have a nice scraggly dough here, but we still have a lot of dry pieces, so we're just going to add in the rest of our water. And if you need to add more, add about a tablespoon at a time. Just scoop it in there. Do not dump in a bunch because your dough will become too wet. And you're just going to work this around. And if it becomes too wet like this did, because I added too much, we're just going to add a little bit of flour at a time until it comes together. Alright, so we're just going to add about a tablespoon of flour. We're just going to sprinkle it in there. And we're going to continue working this and kind of knead it a little bit until it's not sticky anymore. And just keep adding. You don't want to add too much, but just keep adding until you get the consistency that you want. Alright, once your dough looks exactly like this, and you can clean the bowl with it, just like that, we're going to let it rest. So we're just going to take a towel, and we're going to let it rest for just a few minutes while we get our sauce together. Next, let's get started on our sauce. So in this bowl, I have a 6-ounce jar of tomato paste. And to that, we're going to add a 15-ounce jar of tomato sauce. Now, you could be, really lazy and just buy some pizza sauce yourself. Or you could, get creative and use stuff like barbecue sauce or Alfredo. But this is a great pizza sauce. We're just going to kind of mix this together. We're then going to add in our seasonings, and in here I have some oregano, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, some salt, and some black pepper. Just going to take that, mix this all together until there are no lumps and it's nice and smooth. Alright, so once you have all the lumps out and it's smooth, just give it a taste. Perfect. To see if you need to add in more salt or pepper or anything like that. So we're going to set this to the side and get our dough going. Alright, so this recipe will make 1 large pizza or 2 medium. So we're just going to cut that in half so we can make a medium pizza. And we flatly floured our dough. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can use your hands. You just want to kind of keep flipping it. If you make any holes, just kind of touch them up a little bit. I'm not very good at this, so I use a rolling pin. Just going to kind of roll it out until you get the size that you want. Again, this is a medium, so it's not going to be too big. You also don't want to do it too thin. And once you get that rolled out, we'll start with our sauce. Alright, so once you get that rolled out, I'm using just a cookie sheet here because I don't have a pizza pan. You could use a pizza pan. You could also use a cast iron skillet if you wanted to. It's a great way to do it. So we just have our pizza out, and we're going to take a little bit of our sauce and start spreading it around. Kind of out to the edges. You don't want to completely cover the edge, so you get a little bit of that crust and something to hold on to. This is a great thing to do if you got kids or just a group of friends you want to get together, you can make the dough ahead of time and kind of have them already stretched out, because this is great. You can put some wax paper between them and throw them in the freezer or the fridge. In the fridge, they'll last for about 24 hours before they need to be frozen. In the freezer, you could literally leave them for a couple of months and they'll be fine. But this is great because you can set out a toppings bar. So what I like to do is, once I have the sauce down, I just put a little bit of cheese so that my toppings have something to kind of glue to. And today I'm just using like an Italian mix. It's mozzarella, Asiago, provolone, a bunch of other stuff. We're going to do some onion on this. And again, this is kind of make your own creation, whatever toppings you like. You could use goat cheese, and instead of making this pasta sauce, you could just use like a sun-dried tomato sauce, or even basil pesto would be good. We're going to add a little bell pepper. Something you want to make sure is that you don't make the chunks too big on your pizza, so they actually will cook through. And we're going to throw a little mushrooms. I think we're just going to make this one a veggie one. And we'll throw some black olives. So I have my oven preheated at 425. We're just going to throw this in there for about 15 to 17 minutes until the cheese is bubbly and everything is nice and golden brown. We're just going to top that off with some more cheese and pop it in the oven. And so after about 15 to 17 minutes, your pizzas will be done. They should be lightly golden on top. The thing with this crust is it's not going to be like that brown golden color that you get with takeaway pizza, because normally they put a butter around the rim. So actually with this one, I did do a little buttered garlic sauce. If you want to pan down and look at the pizza. And you get a nice little, so you get a little bit of color there, and it also helps give it a little bit of flavor, so it just doesn't taste like dough. So we're just going to plate up a piece here and have our special taster taste it.
Hi, I love pizza. It's dear to my heart, just like cheesecake is. Oh, that's good. It's so good.
And there you have it. Quick, easy, and delicious pizza in under 30 minutes, and for a fraction of the price of what you would pay for takeaway. Remember, moderation. Eat the pizza, not the whole pizza. Remember to follow us on Facebook at Birmingham AIDS Outreach, or on our website at baobhm.org. Bye.